Hello, this is Sid and Millie Chats. I'm Sid, this is Millie, and we invite you to be a fly on our wall. Well, we just finished watching the Manchester United versus
Nottingham Forest game.
today. It was the first loss under Ruben Amorim at home in the Premier League. What are your first initial thoughts on that, Millie?
Yeah, it was, I guess, like kind of a tough game to watch. We gave up kind of an early goal off of another set piece, which is kind of our Achilles heel in the last match. So I guess that kind of was very frustrating. Obviously, it's a loss at home, a loss at Old Trafford, which obviously never feels good. But I think that there were still like some good things that happened in the game. But yeah, I mean, I feel like obviously back-to-back losses in the Premier League is going to make morale drop. So initial thoughts are a little bit frustrated with the set piece goals. The third goal was a pretty weak header. It kind of seemed like we did have the numbers that we needed to get that ball cleared, and we just didn't do that. And then obviously, player mistakes will happen, so no need to go crazy on Onana. At the end of the day, we have to create and finish opportunities. I mean, Nottingham Forest being a decent team doesn't excuse it. Man United should be beating everybody. So
that makes sense. Kind of on that same topic, what were some of the challenges that Manchester United faced that kind of led to those goals?
Some of the challenges that we faced were, I think, with how fresh this system is with the players. I think there's still a little bit of those growing pains with the players knowing, where we should be, and kind of that patience in the build-up as well. I think in certain moments, maybe people are getting caught in maybe two minds, or I don't even know what the best way to describe it is. It just feels like it's still a very fresh system. It's like we still don't necessarily have that key ball winner who on every corner kick we know is going to come and clear the ball,
right?
Or on every set piece we know is going to someone is going to challenge and clear that ball, because they only scored on one corner today, but there were multiple opportunities where the ball is bouncing around in the box. We've missed the first header, or somehow they've won the first header, and that in those moments we've got to be a little bit stronger to and a little bit more life or death in winning those moments, winning those balls rather. And again, I will never be able to get behind the full zonal defending. Martinez is a phenomenal defender. I love him to death. But at the end of the day, if someone's over 6 feet, over 6'5", like Chris Wood is, their forward, at some point we have got to go off script if something just makes more sense. It makes most sense for Delit, our biggest player and best ball winner, to either be the free man hunting the ball or mark the biggest man on their team. It just does not make sense for us to just be standing stagnant in a row in the 18-yard box, hoping that they're going to serve the ball into one of our zones for us to get out.
Perfectly headed away.
And sharks smell blood in the water.
Yeah.
They're going to go to it. Every team now is going to be assuming we're weak on corner kicks. Every single team in the Premier League. So now everybody is going to be putting that pressure, trying to win set pieces, trying to capitalize on corner kicks, because now they know that's what the weak point is. So that's unfortunate, but
yeah, that's very true. But I feel like you said, it's growing pains. They're gonna have to go through these struggles and challenges to kind of come out of it on the other end a better team.
That's true.
And I feel like in the game we also had some positives. We scored 2 goals.
Yeah.
Do you want to touch on any other positives?
Yeah, that is really true. There were some really bright spots in the game. Obviously, Højlund got another goal. Garnacho had the chance. Keeper made the save. Højlund finished it. He was at the right place, right time. So definitely love that for him. Bruno got his goal as well. I mean, the guy is he's world class. I mean, he creates so many opportunities, creates a ton, like in the run of play. I know obviously he made a mistake for, you know, in the build up of one of the goals, but at the end of the day, what he brings to the team, you really can't fault him for that. And I mean, the numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
when it comes to Bruno. So he's a masterclass. So obviously United throughout like the 90 minutes was massively dominated the game, massively dominated possession, massively dominated, you know, basically everything. Forest really didn't have any like clear-cut chances like in the first like 45 minutes really, other than their set piece goal. So overall, I think, you know, United is now playing a different brand of football. We're no longer seeing, you know, us kind of sitting back against what I would say are like lesser teams, which again, obviously no disrespect, and obviously we lost today,
Right.
so I mean that's kind of a moot point, but at the end of the day, like under the now you can tell that United have a very dominating style of play, so teams are sitting back trying to defend, and United are still finding ways to break them down and to like create opportunities. But you know, we just haven't been, I guess, incisive enough, like deadly enough in those moments to make all of that possession count. I think it's Jose Mourinho who has a very famous saying about, you know, you can keep the ball, we'll take the trophy or whatever, because it's just like, you know, possession at the end of the day doesn't win games. You know, we've got to finish our opportunities and make sure we're creating good opportunities for our attacking players.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it seems kind of like we're getting there. We're, like you said, being more dominant, and I feel like you predicted that in our first video. When we spoke about kind of just like our thoughts on the new Ruben Amorim era.
Yeah.
And you were talking about like the style of play that they wanted or that he would demand from them, and I feel like we are already seeing it. So it's like we just need to, or Manchester United just needs to kind of fall into that form. And
get into form.
Get into,
Yeah, and it's really true, and I mean you can't overstate enough how important Manuel Ugarte is. I mean, him in the midfield, it really just kind of allows United to kind of dominate most teams that we've seen so far. I mean, every loose ball he's chasing down. He's somewhere in midfield, tackling, winning the ball back, regaining possession, putting the ball on the floor, and connecting the ball to the next. I mean, it's massively important role that he's playing, and it's made a huge difference. I mean, you're talking seeing Mainu and Bruno, who have played together all of last season, won the trophy together last season, you know, obviously a combination that works really well in the midfield, but seeing them now in a midfield that's dominating possession versus last year we rarely had games where United, you know, were dominating that much, but now we're seeing the same midfield fully dominate possession, dominate the game. So the common denominator has to be Manuel Ugarte.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's playing a very key role, and again was another like positive performance for him. But well, not but anything. It was very very positive for those guys in the midfield. But again, yeah, we just need a little bit more beyond the possession.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Yeah.
I mean, again, our United players receive an unbelievably amount of unfair scrutiny, like online and stuff. Rashford is 16th all-time goal scorer at the club. You don't get to that level without being like a good player, without having consistent success. And to think about the fact that he's had now 6 different managers, and yet has been a consistent player for 6 different managers, speaks to his talent.
Absolutely.
So yeah, whether players just have to also kind of understand their role within a team, and sometimes that isn't always going to be starting every single game, especially when there are so many games, because they just played a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
They have to play midweek again.
Right. It's tired.
Yeah, and they're traveling far this week too.
Where are they going? Somewhere.
Yeah, I'll be lucky if I can pronounce the team they're playing this week.
Okay, because it's Europa.
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
yeah, playing in Europa. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think there was anything like too crazy to call out. I don't think anybody had like a massively disastrous game. It is the Premier League. We know that this is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not realistic to think that United will win every game, especially in the early growing stages of this new system, of this new manager, a whole new coaching staff. There's a lot of changes happening at the club. Ownership is here. So at the end of the day, it's just got to be taken game by game, and we've got to take the little victories game by game.
Yeah.
And I think probably one of the key ones that we could take away was just like the style of play. That's very clear. The domination is very clear. The creation of opportunities is very clear. So I mean, there's not any alarm bells going off yet. not yet, but just like generally, like I don't feel like overly like pressed. Obviously, it's like a disappointing feeling not to like get the win or feel that excitement, but I think it's still very early stages, and I think the early days, it's gonna be time. Time is needed. So I think the biggest thing is to like stay calm, stay focused on the overall objective, and for the players, like keep locking in on what Ruben is trying to do, what he's trying to show, because the faster everybody learns the system and locks in on the system, the faster the team can grow into it.
Absolutely.
Imagine they're playing this well, not fully grasping this. So what this might look like in a month's time. We might be just like laughing at those old
watching these videos.
yeah, for real. So I mean, I think, I don't think there was any like cause for alarm. There are more changes to come. There are more games to come, and like I think there's still a lot to be excited about. That's kind of what I would take from today's game.
Absolutely.
So obviously, Man United lost. Kind of like one of the bricks in the foundation of Old Trafford. They lost, Kath this week, Kath Phillips, who is like the head of reception. So just reading from United's website, it says Kath joined United in September of 1968 as a switchboard operator, and later became our training ground receptionist. Her personality and warmth left a positive impression on everybody who was lucky enough to receive her welcome. And obviously there've been like tons of tributes from a ton of like ex-players, former players, former managers. So, heart goes out to her and her family, and her, the United family as well, who lost, a pretty key member. And hopefully the goal of this new era will be to help bring the club back to some of those highs that she got to see, and some of those highs that like people are kind of ready for. And I think United has gotten a little taste of it. But I don't think anything is too out of reach yet this season. So still a lot of time to aspire to reach those new highs.
Absolutely.
So I feel like those were our thoughts on today's Man United match versus Nottingham Forest. Unfortunately a loss, but some good takeaways. And if you made it this far, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week when Man United takes on some unknown European Cup player team. So whatever. See you then.